guests are requesting to get off the ship early.
My room is anyone can, like, my room could not be more monitored by staff. And I have a feeling Royal Caribbean have done that on purpose.
Right, I have been wanting to cover this for like a couple of weeks now, and I'm so excited that I'm finally able just to like vent and just be like, this is what's going on Cruise Talk. This is what is happening on this round the world 9-month cruise that has been going on since December the 10th. So that is over a month. We're veering on 2 months now. If you aren't already aware and you want to hear more of like the backstory, I will do an extremely brief summary. Marky, who I do also watch, he's absolutely brilliant, and I believe he actually shouted me out the other day, which is actually pretty amazing, and I was just like, oh my god, what the hell's happening, so thank you so much. But yeah, he's been covering this, and there are loads of like different accounts over on TikTok that are also covering this, but it's honestly just like such a vibe, and so much stuff has happened on this cruise ship that I just, yeah, I love a good maritime story. If you've been watching me for long enough, you'll know that I am obsessed with all things like, I know you shouldn't say it. As Mark said, no one should be mentioning the Titanic.
Number one, you're not supposed to talk about the Titanic? Who knew that? I didn't.
I'm not calling this a maritime disaster. I'm just saying that anything out at sea that is like garnering attention, I'm all here for it. I have specifically been following on Mark Sebastian's journey, who has now just left. I feel like he could have had so much longer.
The first headline is from the New York Times. It says, TikTok invaded this cruise for content. Maybe someday it'll come for you.
Do a really brief summary, and then I'm then going to be talking about the latest updates that have been going on, such as people are actually faking illness so that they can get off the boat, get off the ship, and so that their insurance then covers it. Now, this is fairly alleged, but considering that they literally haven't like gotten anyone off at the port in, what has it been, like over a week now, considering that would not surprise me whatsoever. There's another influencer who's going to be going in March called Christian Hull, and I am so excited for like another influencer just to get in there and like document. And I know this may sound really ridiculous, but I think more influencers need to go in there, or just more people with like a purpose of like, you know, making it like a little reality show, because I love reality shows and I think this would be absolutely brilliant. Before it even embarked, there were loads of problems with the tickets. People were buying like a ticket for different 60-day quadrants, because it's literally doing like an around the world tour. You know, people were then picking quadrants they wanted to do, or you could do the full 9 months. Now, they realized that they were not selling enough tickets, and so then what ended up happening was that basically they then just opened up a third tier where you could just pick and choose what you wanted to do, and it could be as little as like 8 days or something. So you're then going to have people who are pretty annoyed, who are then like cancelling tickets and then rebooking them under a different thing. So obviously like carnage was ensuing. You then have the hierarchy with people with the Pinnacle pass, who are like avid boat users, avid cruise users, I should say, who are part of like the Anchor and something club. They've got a great big Facebook thing. It's pretty prestigious. You can't get into it unless you prove that you're like an avid cruiser Pinnacle member. So this develops some sort of a hierarchy on the ship. You have some people that are literally opening up like a town hall, and then people can't get into this town hall. Some people, like Pinnacle members, are only entitled to certain things, and it's a very divisive topic, because you have some people who are like so hell-bent on this is the best system, and even though you can actually pass your Pinnacle membership down through the family, so let's just say like if your granddad was a Pinnacle member, which bear in mind, these rooms that some of these people get, 150 grand, like very, very, very expensive, and that is putting it on the cheaper end. They die, they can just pass it on to the next person and pass it on to their son, and like it can become like a full family event. And some people who are a part of cruises think this is brilliant.
Yes, it's fair. It's fair. These people, they have the status because they worked for the status, okay? They worked for the status. They cruised for a long time, or, you know, it was handed down to them from their grandfather that cruised or their father that cruised. It is fair.
Whilst other people feel like the staff don't really treat them very nicely because they're not a Pinnacle member. Anyway, so there's some sort of like a hierarchy looming, and if you're stuck on a ship for 9 whole months, You're going to be seeing the same people over and over and over again, okay? You're going to realize this. We had wine. The wine ran out, which has now been restocked, thank the Lord. Apparently, the alcohol is unlimited, which I personally... I would need like restraints. I'm not saying that I have like an alcohol problem, but I'm just saying that if I was stuck on a 9-month cruise, you bet to believe that I'd be making the most out of that free bar. You then had some people talking about their experiences. They were being discriminated against, and yeah, it was just not a good look on the cruise line whatsoever.
If I get asked if I work on this ship one more time, started out at the pre-cruise gala. It was assumed that I must be working. After I said I was not working, then I was asked, was I independently wealthy? Like, basically, how did you afford this? Now, one of the crew members assumed that I was not a guest.
Had couples that were arguing. You had tours which never even happened, so the actual ship has not like come to dock in ages, and apparently it's still not, because the waves are too high and because the winds are too high and like it's too dangerous, so they basically just carry on going. As a result of it, apparently you have people that really want to get off this ship but have paid for like the full 9 months, who are now apparently faking being ill so that their insurance will cover it.
Apparently they've been pretending that they're sick so their insurance covers all the costs, and they've got a reason to get off the ship and can get their money back. Because they're not happy with what's going on. They don't like that they've missed so many ports. They don't like spending time with 1,500 other people. This is not what they paid for, apparently. Someone on the ship has told me that a good few number of guests are starting to get very annoyed, and that they're complaining to management that they want to leave early.
The ship that was flooding in some parts, like it was going up onto deck, you couldn't use the lifts anymore. Imagery of literally the gym like starting to flood, and I'm just like, Titanic who? Oh, and we also have Adisa, who is this amazing woman who, yeah, it's a Pinnacle member, she's absolutely amazing, but she has heard a rumor that apparently the ship may literally like not even be carrying on anymore with its cruise because they're worried about the wars going on. So yeah, apparently the ship may not even be stopping. It might just be going around and coming back. Because of this, right, there's been people that have boarded the ship who want to document the whole thing. So then you have loads of people of various TikTok accounts that are going around, and it's like a little reality TV show. And there are so many accounts.
Again, sorry to disappoint you. We're not swingers, but we do like our pineapples.
She is absolutely hilarious. And this guy called Mark did this whole interview with her, like interviewing her about what it's like to be a Pinnacle member and everything. And she's talking about, you know, the really higher ups get appointed a genie that will basically make things happen for them so that they don't have to queue, they don't have to do anything.
They paid $765,000.
Oh my
for
god.
that.
Put them on blast. Oh my god.
For the first time ever, this class of ship, they have a genie. As Rotherham gave them a genie that makes their every wish happen.
What's a genie?
Somebody that makes your every wish happen.
Oh,
They
oh my
reserve the
God.
shows for you. They reserve the seats for you. They, you know,
Is there only
bring
one
you
of
your
those
coffee in
rooms?
the morning.
Because of all of this that was going on, and this was being documented by people on the ship who are recording their whole TikTok journey, they're like reality TV stars at this point. Basically, this guy called Mark came on, which is where I want to drive this video's direction onto the fact that influencers are going to be going on, and, you know, the whole hubbub behind that, because there is a lot of drama between the Pinnacle members who aren't even on the ship, literally just Pinnacle members, a part of this anchor and crew or whatever Facebook group, and then also people who live on other ships who are like Pinnacle members, have this massive issue with these influencers who are being sponsored to go on this ship. This guy called Mark, who has just got off the ship, who said this.
Put cameras on that goddamn cruise. Put cameras on that ship right now. What do you mean there's a town hall people aren't being invited to? It's a cruise. What do you mean that the Pinnacle members are being treated differently? There's a caste system being formed? You haven't even been on there for 2 weeks. It's so haunted. There's going to be mutiny. There's going to be blood. Someone is going overboard. I want to watch. Bravo, where are you? I need eyes. We're witnessing Fire Festival, Alabama Rush, and no one is rushing there. Put me in. Alternatively, put me on the cruise. I'll go. If you pay for one section, I will go. I will cause chaos. I will wreak havoc, and I'll record everything.
And sure enough, he did get sent on the ship. And amongst a lot of things, like he basically uncovered the fact that, you know, some things were not right within the rooms. Like a lot of people were not even given any water in their rooms. And then, you know, the rooms are quite small, and if you're going to be paying like $56,000 or whatever it is, you would have thought that the rooms would be bigger, or like have less rooms just to make the rooms bigger. Whatever. The showers don't really work very well. They kind of drift between boiling hot and cold. They don't really work very well. And just loads of other things, and the kind of the hierarchy system, which is what he kept on pointing out. And you best believe he was getting into online fights with these Pinnacle members that were not even on the same bloody ship, but he was also then getting into arguments with Pinnacle members that were on the ship that were basically telling him, like, you can't swear in this area, you shouldn't be in this area, and all of this kind of stuff. This lady over here who took it upon herself to make this whole entire TikTok about how, because she works in the shipping industry, she can vouch for the fact that her colleagues are not underpaid, but doesn't mention the fact that if you read the comment section, you'll realize that she used to be a cruising director. We're not talking about people who, you know, get on from various corners of the world and who are working in the bars or, you know, in the shops or the stores, anything like that. We're not talking about kind of that stuff. We're talking about the higher ups. And Mark was basically pointing out that, yeah, he thinks that this multi-billion-dollar company who doesn't even like pay their employees right, it's not okay.
Myth that they don't make a living wage. But of course, he's put on this cruise ship to create drama and tea.
Oh girl, I'm not getting involved in all that, but it seems like after 10 minutes of research that the average yearly salary a Royal Caribbean worker makes is under $25,000. If you think that $25,000 is a livable wage, you're delusional. And allegedly, there's like 100 countries that make up the employees, or that the employees are from on this boat. Not all of them have a great conversion rate. Yikes. You do kind of radiate like who's going to be cleaning your toilets, Donald Trump energy.
And by the end of it, Mark was actually bleeping out the Royal Caribbean cruise. Like every single time he would say that name, he'd actually bleep it out because he just had enough of the inconsistencies with how staff were treated and how much money they're making. Anyway, so because of this, right, the Pinnacle members were coming after him.
Apparently, I have made it onto the Crown and Anchor Facebook group. I don't know what a Crown and Anchor society is, but apparently it's important in world. Scary world that must be. First one is incredible. It says, he might have a slip and fall and might end up you know where. I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. I do like the insinuation that someone is gonna throw me overboard. I just don't like that you use the word might twice.
Now I say all of this because he did bring a lot of entertainment, and by the end of it, he actually got invited to a Pinnacle lounge. And when he was in the Pinnacle lounge with this woman who invited him in, who was a Pinnacle member, someone from on shore, not even someone on the cruise ship, someone was watching his live in which he would basically read a book for Book Talk, because a book company were the one that sponsored him to go on. And I bet you anything a Pinnacle member from on the shore had actually rung up and gone, yeah, the guy is in the lounge, he shouldn't be in the lounge. Which, fair enough, like, you haven't paid the ticket price to be in that lounge, I do understand. But it's the fact that these people would literally take the time out of their day to, like, dob him in. Even though the lounge was completely empty, there was no one in there, and the guy kind of shuffled over and looked a bit uncomfortable, like, yeah, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Hey.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
No, what are you doing? Don't worry.
I'm sorry to disturb you guys. I'm sorry, but unfortunately...
You've got to kick us out.
Oh, really?
I'm totally understanding.
What if you just don't look? You know what I mean? You're just like, you're just sort of like, oh my god.
I'm sorry. I know you're very nice, Sabrina, amazing, but unfortunately, I cannot do this. I do apologize.
Okay. Not us getting kicked out of the concierge lounge. Okay, we'll do it. We're going. Now, to whomever was watching my live on land and decided to spend the $8 to call guest services on the ship and narc on me being in the lounge, despite me being a guest of someone, which resulted in security coming and escorting me out, solitary confinement. You're a fucking bore. You ruined that whole little fun bit where I was wearing a Pinnacle name tag, and if there's one thing I hate, it's bit ruiner.
It's a very divisive topic, but the thing that is an issue at the minute is that the Pinnacle members, I feel like, I love the word Pinnacle so much, I feel like the Pinnacle members, because a lot of them, it's like kind of royalty of the cruise ship line. So these people, whether or not they have personally got on so many cruise that they have earned up the points because it's on like a point system, or they have just splurged out and they're very rich and they are able to afford the really like top business class rooms. These people have literally spent most of their lives accumulating these points, and a lot of them don't like the fact that these influencers are going to be, you know, sponsored to go on board and they're not even paying the price, and they're there moaning about their rooms and how things aren't right. But the thing is, right, is that you have to think of it as a very different level. Like, these people are going to be given a hell of a lot more, have way different customer service to the people who, you know, are being paid to go on board. They're not going to have like the same experience. They're going to be given pretty much what everyone else is given. And you have to remember that even the lower tier, even the people who have the most basic rooms, is still someone's life savings. It is a hell of a lot of money. Like, no one is poor on this boat. No one is poor. No one is doing badly on this boat. We're talking about, oh, you know, people who are really financially well off compared to the elite. We're talking about people who are who are pretty rich, or have just like sold their house and decided to go on a cruise ship, compared to like elitist level, like excruciatingly rich people. So yeah, or they've just inherited all of their granddad's Pinnacle points and passed it on. So yeah, so I do understand that there's going to be a thing, but the Pinnacle members are not going to necessarily understand like where the people are coming from who are saying, yeah, we paid like 56 grand. We're not even given bottled water in our room, or we're not allowed to stand in the same queue, or how come we're not allowed in the town hall? Do you know what I mean? It's like a hierarchy system. And some people who have worked on cruise liners disagree, and they think, well, they have earned the right. They've earned the right to be there. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like, I hate like this. I hate hierarchy systems like that. I feel like everyone is equal. However, when money comes into play, it does change the power dynamic. That doesn't excuse the fact that like the amenities should be working, should have their necessities met. Okay, they may not need the most fanciest of fancy, but they still need to have access to like a working shower. Do you see what I mean? So saying all of this, we now have a brand new character. We have a brand new cast member who is going to be going on the ship, and I feel like this is going to make other people follow suit of being like, okay, can I get a sponsorship to go on? Now, I don't actually think that Christian did get a sponsorship. I'm pretty sure he paid for it out of his own money. Christian Hull, I believe he is an Australian TikToker. I haven't looked too heavily onto it, but he just popped up on my For You page, and yeah, he basically paid to go on. He's going to be going on in March. And the cruise line, Royal Caribbean, have already sussed him out.
Just been sent my room number for my 16 days on the Ultimate World Cruise. So I got sent my room number. It's a balcony room. It's on deck 7. Now, I went to a deck 7 plan, and I was like, please be in like the back corner where I can like sneak in, sneak away, like do my little missions and like run and hide and like be out of the way of everybody. My room my room is anyone can, like, my room could not be more monitored by staff. I am in front of the elevators, the online centre and business services. So there's no sneaking. I cannot do any sneaking. My room, literally anyone can see the front door of my room. And I have a feeling Royal Caribbean have done that on purpose.
I reckon the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line are onto anyone who now has been like an avid reporter of this. They'll then see the booking and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on you because we don't want you running around causing any mischief. And I think it's hilarious in the sense that, you know, it's created this like reality TV phenomenon. I think that is great in itself. But what I do also think, if you're going to go on, you need to be like respectful. You can't be being like a disturber of the peace. But, you know, I don't even think Mark was being a disturber of the peace. He was just going around and like recording what was going on and giving an honest review. And he didn't really like it, you know, and other people don't like the fact that he didn't like it. You don't have to like everything. that's okay. As long as you're not going around literally causing chaos, like, I think it's a great thing, and I think it's a really great form of entertainment. And yeah, I'm all here for it. I'm not against the fact that, like, sponsors want to get people on the ship. I don't know whether or not that may happen again. In Mark's case, it did. But I'm not against it, because if you think about it, it's a really good source of entertainment. And because, you know, we already have all these other TikTokers that are on the boat, really good source of entertainment. And the thing is that a lot of these times, like a lot of the times, you'll have influencers that are like sponsored to go and stay at a specific location, or they're gifted a holiday, and then the influencers kind of like show you around, but it's not really much fun. Whereas this is entertaining, and then they can also show off the brand's product. So I kind of think it's a win-win situation, but that's just me. I do love a good bit of reality TV show, so maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just me being completely biased. As for me, not that I would ever be asked to go on in a million years, but as for me, I don't know, you guys won't know this, but I actually, maybe this is the reason why I'm obsessed with like maritime things. Anyway, I sailed throughout most of my childhood. My family, my granddad was like extremely into sailing, and my mum's ex-husband was really into sailing, and I used to be in like yacht club and everything. And then during the recession, when I was like a preteen, so this was going back a long time, we had to sell the house and move onto a boat, because they couldn't afford the house anymore. So I had to live on a boat for 2.5 years, and that was a hell of a lot smaller than what the cruise ship people are on. Like, even the rooms that they're in are like pretty big. A room would have been like the size of like the main living area kind of thing. So I don't know, I can't remember how many feet it was, but I did used to have to live on a boat. So for me, being on a 9-month cruise, I don't actually think I'd find it very difficult, because I don't get seasick, but I have like loads of responsibilities, and like I've missed my kids. No, I couldn't do it. But I was thinking about this the other day, because I feel like everyone's just like, oh, I couldn't be on a 9-month cruise, but I kind of feel like it would be fun if you were surrounded by people that also made it fun. But anyway, that's just my own personal opinion. This has been like the most chattiest video I've done in quite a while, but it's because I was just so excited just to like go, okay, let's talk about this. I don't know what is going to be happening, whether or not people are actually going to be getting off the ship and like literally jump ship, quite literally jump ship, just going like, I don't want to do this anymore. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.